as well as the reigning champion, Coach Heaney. Who do you think this coming year, the Jube's Family Dynasty fantasy season, who do you think poses the biggest threat to you?
I would say probably Coach Zach. You know, I know he's ready for this year. He's got a lot of plans from what I've talked to him, and I think Coach Zach might be the top guy in our division. That's just my opinion, but
he's been game planning. He's been planning.
He has.
He's been planning, and so it sounds like obviously he's going to be a very formidable opponent. If you had to pick one player from the other division, who do you think is going to have the best year and maybe make it to the Dynasty Bowl?
You know, judging from last year, you know, I think Coach Phil's a very good coach. I think maybe Coach Phil would be the one to get to the Dynasty Bowl from the South Division.
So, Coach, from what I'm gathering, you had to pick two players, not yourself. You cannot pick yourself. You would pick Coach Phil against Coach Zach Palucha in the Dynasty Bowl. Is that correct?
Well, if you put it that way.
No. I'm just. You can't pick yourself. I mean, that's an obvious thing. If you had to pick two, that would be your two picks.
I would, yes.
That's fair pick. That's fair. I mean, good, right?
That's it. Good.
You heard it here, folks. Coach Ben Green of the Jube's Family Restaurant Dynasty 2013-14 season is keeping LaShawn Shady McCoy, running back of the Philly Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles. LaShawn McCoy. We will be right back after these messages.
Hi, this is Jimmy Berkowitz of Tom Berkowitz Trucking. If you want dependable trucking and garbage removal, then look no further. Contact Tom Berkowitz Trucking at 508-234-2920 today. And we're sponsoring the Dynasty League for a second straight season, so you know we're legit.
I'm here with Coach Zach Palucha of the Haney Quacks. Coach, thanks for taking time out of your very busy day to speak with us.
Indeed.
Now, Coach, last year I had a little bit of a rough year. I think it all started when you kept Maurice Jones-Drew, who obviously did not have a very productive year, over 2,097-yard MVP Adrian Peterson. Talk a little bit about that decision.
Yeah, I'm not very happy with Maurice Jones-Drew. I think I might have sent some angry tweets. You know. But Adrian Peterson, I mean, what are you going to do? The guy tore his ACL 6 months before the start of the season. I mean, come on. Give me a break.
Jones-Drew had about 300 yards, I think, total offense. He was pretty bad. It was a pretty bad choice.
Yeah, there were some racial slurs yelled at Maurice Jones-Drew last year. But at least I was able to get some good value for him.
Were you ever...
Thanks, Brandon.
Were you ever drunk at any point during those rants?
Pretty much during all of them, yeah.
That's weird. It's not like you.
No, never.
Now, Coach, coming into this season, you have a myriad of draft picks.
Word of the day.
You made a few trades in the offseason, during the season, plenty of picks. What's your realistic expectation for this year?
I'm going undefeated. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
I'm going undefeated.
Absolutely.
Words of Zach Palucha.
I will also set the record for most points in the season.
Some bold claims, Coach.
Not really.
Some bold claims.
Not really.
You think undefeated most points in the season?
No doubt. No doubt in my mind.
Well, you heard it here. If that happens to be true, you, sir, are a sage.
Sage. Good.
I don't know. Anyway, back to the story. So, Coach, the reason we're here, the keeper selection, I believe you made a trade in the offseason. So I think we know who your keeper is going to be, but let's make it official.
Yeah, you took advantage of me when I was drunk one night. Made me give up a third-round pick, but I'm keeping Arian Foster.
I do remember that fateful day. That was lovely. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Arian Foster, running back of the Houston Texans. Coach, are you at all worried? He's had some miles the last couple of years. A lot of touches last year. Are you worried at all about that?
Not really. Arian Foster claims that it was an off-season for him last year, so if that's his off-season, I'll take it.
That's not too bad. That'll be pretty good. Hopefully better than your Maurice Jones-Drew selection last year.
I will throw something in Heaney's attic if he has a bad year.
All right, well. Now, Coach, looking at the league, I know you just proclaimed that you're going undefeated, scoring most points in the year, but thinking of all the other teams, the other coaches, if you had to pick two teams, not yourself, even though you're going to go undefeated and score the most points, you can't pick yourself, who would you pick to go to the Dynasty Bowl?
Coaches that I would most worry about, I think I'd have to give some props to the reigning champion. He's got a lot of picks left, and I think he can put together a pretty good team. And I mean, that other division pretty much sucks, so I don't think anybody's coming out of that division. But I guess if I have to pick one, and I'll go with Jay Young. He's due.
He's due. Well, some would say that Hong Kong is also due.
Yeah, he's terrible.
All right, so a potential Jay Young yellow peril against Coach VIP on Swole, the reigning champs, in fact, as you mentioned. But you heard it here, folks. Coach Zach Palucha going undefeated, most points in the season, keeping Arian Foster. Eric, back to you.
Thanks, Bub. So, let's see. So far, we've had Chris keep Marshawn Lynch. We've had John keep Drew Brees. We've had Ben keep LeSean McCoy. LeSean McCoy. We've had Zach keep Arian Foster. I'm keeping Jamal Charles. So, Bub, I believe that just leaves you here in the North Riverdale division.
Me?
Are you ready to go ahead and announce your keeper? I'll ask you a few questions, of course.
Hold on. I'm ready.
Okay, all right. So last year, let's go back to last year. You had another successful, somewhat season. You went 9-6. But again, you just missed the playoffs for the second year in a row. You have the second most wins in the era thus far, with only 1 year left in the era. And you have the most points scored in the era. But again,
That makes me feel good.
again, no championship.
No.
Similar to me, we've kind of already talked about that. Let's see. Are you satisfied knowing that you're competitive each and every season, or going back, would you prefer to have like 2 or 3 shitty seasons if you maybe won one time? What do you prefer?
I think I may be going against the grain with this one.
Okay.
But in general, I would rather be competitive every year.
Yeah, sure.
And this is not to say I'd rather be competitive here and not win, as opposed to be crappy 3 years and then win. That's not what I'm saying. Because if I'm competitive every year, I have a chance.
Absolutely.
So, competitive every year, absolutely. However, these last 2 years have not been my friends.
Haven't gone your way.
my friends. So
Yeah.
playoffs, I was in the playoffs for about 3 years in a row there.
Yes.
That was nice, and you know what? Hey, I didn't win, but that's okay. I was there.
Right.
But these last two just haven't really tickled my wiggle.
Sure. I agree with you. Now, obviously, we're in a similar situation. I'm sure others might say otherwise. Maybe some of what we maybe refer to as possible one-year wonders, the Brian Tavalieris of the world, the possible John Costanzas, the Zach Paluchas, if you will.
Zach Palucha.
Not saying they're one-year wonders.
That's what
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if none of those bastards win a Dynasty championship this year, in this era, that they've won a championship, then I'm going to say it. We'll
call those people out.
Bastards.
Call
is
them
what
out.
I'm going to call them. And one-year wonders. I apologize, children. So, Bub, you moved divisions.
Oh,
this season.
divisions.
Yes, you went from I think you were in the North that 1 year you started the Dynasty. He doesn't even know. I know. He was. He moved over to the South. You've had a lot of good seasons in the South.
Well, look at the South. How can I not have a lot of good seasons?
True. You've moved back over into the North. How do you feel about the realignment here? Are you okay with it? Are you offended? Do you think it benefits you? Are you horny right now?
I definitely am horny right now.
Okay.
I have been since I got here.
Right.
I definitely don't think it benefits me.
No.
I think the North Division is stronger.
So are you saying it doesn't benefit you for the short term, and the long term, or in general, or what are you really getting at here?
I think overall. Short term, long term, it doesn't matter.
A lot of better teams in the North.
I mean, this year, and you may get to that. I got a little slacker. Not going to be very good this year. But
Well, really?
yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
But I just think in the long term going forward, there's a lot of good managers in the North and not so good managers in the South.
Okay. Well, hey. You said it, you're not taking it back. Now, heading into this season, Bubba, you are down, a second and a third round pick?
Yes.
Okay. We've seen coaches do it before. No names here. No names.
We've seen coaches do it before. Amazing coaching ability.